In the spirit of respect, we offer these beautiful flowers to our honored guest, Dr. Manconi, a distinguished academician from Caesar Fritz College, Switzerland. Dr. Manconi's contribution to hospitality education are highly regarded worldwide, and we are privileged to have her with us today. I now request Professor F.N. Nadaf, the esteemed principal of Government College, Borda, to kindly present the bouquet as a symbol of respect and appreciation to Dr. Ranjana Tiwari. Dr. Tiwari's remarkable contributions in the field of tourism case writing have earned her admiration, and we are honored by her presence today. We request Professor F.N. Nadaf to present the floral honor to our keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Sandeep Kulshrestha, Director of Central University of Himachal Pradesh. Sir's leadership in academia and his innovative contributions to education in India are truly commendable. Requesting Sir to present the floral welcome to Sir Mark Mendes. Thank you, respected dignitaries. We now move on to a cherished and sacred. We unveil the souvenir in the presence of the other dignitaries and grace us with this moment of distinction. Requesting all of you to join me in extending a warm round of applause as our dignitaries unveil this momentous moment.
That I welcome you to the International Conference on Hospitality, Tourism and Commerce. As the convener of this event, I stand before you with a profound sense of pride, knowing that the vision for this conference has been brought to life through the hard work, collaboration and dedication of so many individuals and institutions. In the words of Henry Ford, quote, "Coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success," unquote. This quote encapsulates the spirit of ICHTC 2025. It serves as a reminder that our collective effort in coming together is the first step towards a shared goal. Our success as an industry and as a community depends on our ability to stay together, to collaborate and to innovate in ways that will shape a sustainable future for hospitality, tourism and commerce. This conference has been months in the making, brought to life through the unwavering efforts of the faculty, students and industry experts who have worked tirelessly to create a space for knowledge exchange and collaboration. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the significant contributions of our co-hosts, that is VMSIIHE Institute of International Hospitality Education, Government College Borda Autonomous and Caesar Fritz College, Switzerland. Together we have established a platform for meaningful discussions, the sharing of research and the cultivation of lasting professional relationships. Our theme, integrating innovation, technology and global collaborations in hospitality, tourism and commerce for a sustainable future, invites us to explore the dynamic intersections of these critical areas. In a world where rapid technological advancements and a growing focus on sustainability are reshaping industries, it is imperative that we engage in the conversations that foster new solutions, challenge conventional thinking, and embrace change. This is not just an academic exercise. It is a call to action, a collective effort towards sustainable progress. Over the next 3 days, we will have the privilege of engaging with an array of thought leaders and experts who will share their knowledge, research, and experiences. Some of the highlights include inspiring knowledge sessions on the latest trends in education, well-being, nutrition, and sustainability presented by distinguished experts. Next, the presentation of 45 research papers that offer innovative solutions and transformative ideas for the future of our industries. An interactive session with experts exploring emerging industry trends and their global implications. We also have a hands-on workshop on manuscript mastery led by Dr. Ranjana Tiwari, guiding researchers on how to publish impactful academic work. The highlight is a panel discussion featuring experts who will address critical challenges and opportunities within the hospitality, tourism, and commerce sectors. We will end with a valedictory function to celebrate the valuable insights and achievements that will guide our path forward. To all the participants, I encourage you to make the most of this opportunity, engage in discussions, ask questions, share your insights, and most important, build lasting collaborations. Together, let us drive innovation, embrace sustainability, and shape the future of hospitality, tourism, and commerce. Thank you.
Respected Professor Irfan Mirza, the Director and Principal of VMSIIHE, Professor M.F. Nadaf, Deputy Director, Director of Higher Education, and the Principal of Government College Borta, Dr. Menkoni, the keynote speaker, Mr. Manoj Chako, CEO Fly 91, Professor Sandeep Kulashresht, Director of Central University of Himachal Pradesh, my colleague at Goa Tourism Board, Mr. Mark Mendes, respected the researchers, professors, and all those present on the days and off the days. It is with great pride that I extend my warmest greetings to all the delegates and researchers, industry professionals, and esteemed academicians attending this international conference of Hospitality, Tourism, and Commerce 2025, hosted by this prestigious institute of VMSIIHE of International Hospitality Education, in collaboration with the Government College Borda and Cesar Ritz Colleges, Switzerland. Goa has long been a beacon of hospitality, tourism, and global commerce. As we navigate a future shaped by rapid digitization, environmental responsibility, and international partnerships, the theme of this conference, which is Sustainable Future, integrating innovation, technology, and global collaborations in hospitality, tourism, and commerce, resonates deeply with our collective vision for a more responsible, innovative, and globally connected tourism industry. Tourism in Goa is more than just an industry. It's about people, experiences, and stories. As students pursuing careers in hospitality, you are in a field that has the power to transform economies, uplift communities, and showcase culture to the world. Tourism is an economic driver. It is a force for cultural preservation, community empowerment, and environmental sustainability. As we navigate a rapidly evolving world, the need for regenerative tourism, one that Goa has adopted and that gives back more than it takes, has never been greater. This calls for responsible innovation, ensuring that technology enhances human experiences while preserving our heritage and natural resources. Goa's evolving landscape Goa has always been an evolving landscape and been a top travel destination. However, today there is a dire need of shifting towards a more sustainable and experiential tourism model. Goa is also working on the regenerative tourism model which has adopted post G20. While preserving Goa's rich cultural heritage, there is a need to promote heritage and support local communities, provide our tourists with a meaningful experience beyond beaches and nightlife. Regenerative tourism has helped Goa shift the focus from crowded coastal areas to lesser known rural spots. This approach supports local businesses, has reduced environmental strain on popular beach areas, and promoted nature-based offering in a sustainable and authentic experience. Regenerative tourism is more about sustainability to restore, renew, and revitalize destinations and plays an important role in preserving cultural heritage, promoting environmental conservation, and fostering community empowerment. It encompasses practices and principles that surpass mere sustainability by focusing on restoring, renewing, and revitalizing destinations. It also plays a role in preserving cultural heritage, promoting environmental conservation, and fostering community empowerment. Regenerative tourism will also emphasize a holistic approach to tourism development, aiming to leave destinations in a better condition than before, both environmentally and socio-culturally. It recognizes the interconnectedness of ecosystems, communities, and cultural heritage, and seeks to create a positive, lasting impact for present and future generations. It serves as a catalyst for positive change, balancing the preservation of cultural heritage, community empowerment, and environmental conservation. By embracing the regenerative principles, our destinations can achieve a long-term socio-economic prosperity.
Director of GTDC, keynote speaker Mr. Manoj Chako, CEO of Fly 91 Airlines, keynote speaker Professor Dr. Menconi from the Caesarich College of Switzerland, keynote speaker Professor Dr. Sandeep Kulsheta, Director, Central University of Himachal Pradesh, Dr. Ranjana Tiwari, and Mr. Mark Mendes. He is a member of Tourism Board in Goa. Professor Dr. Nadaf, I really would like to express my gratitude to Professor Nadaf, the Principal of Government College Board, for collaborating with us to organize this prestigious event. We are delighted to have you all here and extend warm welcome to each and every one of you at the International Conference on Hospitality, Tourism and Commerce. Last month we hosted an international conference on religious tourism. If you see all travel here in India, 80% of the travel is from the domestic tourism. Out of this 80%, 60% centered around religious tourism. In Goa, we saw 4.67 lakh foreign tourists, a slightly increase from the 4.52 lakhs in 2023. Despite being a small state, Goa has 8,000 registered hotels. Goa is renowned for its vibrant culture, warm hospitality, and thriving tourism industry. It boasts some of the finest hotels and resorts, make it as a top destination for travelers from all over the world. Goa is not only known for its beaches, Goa is also home to UNESCO World Heritage Site, vibrant festivals, heritage mansions, forts, tropical spice gardens, wildlife reserves, ecotourism spots, and adventure sports. Additionally, Goa has become a popular wedding destination. I extend my best wishes to all the scholars who are going to be presenting those research papers with all success. Thank you once again. I wish you a pleasant evening. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
All the dignitaries on the days of the days, visitors, researchers, students. It's actually a privilege for me to be here today, addressing this. It's actually the month of February, but the August audience, as they say. It's normally not my forte to be addressing academicians and researchers, but I will try to spend the next 15 minutes giving you some insights on what we have done in this particular journey, the small little regional airline that we founded and set up about a year back in Goa. And I'm trying to draw some parallels or some kind of similarities to some of the key themes that you have for this particular conference. I was reading with a lot of interest when Semen sent me a request a few months back, and my first question is, what am I going to be doing at a conference out here? But she said, no, I think there's stuff that people would be interested to hear. So I'm going to try and talk a little bit about what does it look like for us from what we do, which is really about connecting communities. Okay, so if you really get down to saying what does Fly 91 do, I mean, so we actually connect communities, and we connect communities in a simple, sustainable fashion. Okay, and that is really where I want to actually start trying to talk about some of the key themes that you have for the conference today. So the first one is really about sustainability, and a lot of times people struggle to understand what exactly do you mean by sustainability. Okay, and for me, I have a very simple definition of sustainability. Sustainability is leaving this world in a better place than what we got it from our earlier generation. Okay, it's as simple as that. Okay, and if this generation can leave this place better for the next generation, and the next generation can do it for the subsequent generation, you achieve what is sustainability. Mother Earth has been revolving for millions of years, correct? And it will continue revolving for million more years. What we fail to understand is that if we don't take care of it, nothing is going to happen to Mother Earth. What's going to go wrong is with us. Okay, so if you start with that fundamental principle, I believe that we can make this world a much better place. So coming again, to Fly 91, we have always gone back to what I call as first principles. You go back to first principles, you keep everything simple. So one thing that we started off with, let us use an aircraft that has got the lowest carbon footprint. Okay, so we actually fly the aircraft, it's an aircraft manufactured in France called the ATR 72-600s, okay, which has the lowest carbon footprint in the world. Okay, so we start from there. Number two, no plastic on our planes. Absolutely no plastic on our planes. It's a very simple thing to do. So sometimes achieving some of these things are not difficult at all. Okay, and if you can do it with 2 aircrafts, you can do it with 4, then you can do it with 6, you can do it with 10, you can do it with 100, you can do it with 1,000. Okay, but what is important is you got to have the conviction to start at that 101 basic level. The second thing when it comes to sustainability is really about how do you leverage technology. Okay, and I want to give a couple of very simple examples that we use at Fly 91. For example, the size of the boarding card that we generate is 19 kilobytes, 19. Okay, most of you take flights. The closest that any airline comes to is between 380 kilobytes to 2.5 megabytes, one single boarding card. Now one may wonder, how can this actually result in sustainability? Okay, you need to understand that every time you're transmitting data, you're consuming power. Okay, and when you consume power, you're burning fossil fuel somewhere. Okay, we have carried 150,000 passengers in the last 10 months of operations, okay, on 19 kilobyte boarding cards. It's a very, very small step. But today we have other airlines looking at us, looking at this tiny little airline in Goa, saying, how are they doing it? Why can't we do it? Okay, so you don't have to start a revolution by needing to be big, massive. A lot of times we always have this question, what can I do for sustainability? My little action is not going to make a difference. But if you start doing things differently, people start taking notice. So that is very important. The third thing, which again, we believe very strongly, and I think it's got its own working with the local communities. Whatever you do, make sure you work with the local communities. Today, Fly91 has got 316 employees spread across 7 destinations that we fly. Okay, and everywhere we hire from the local community. I have the maximum number of local boys and girls in my head office in Rwanda. And a lot of people, when we set up a head office in Goa, told us, you will not find talent in Goa. You will not find aviation talent in Goa. And we said, we don't need aviation talent. What we need is boys and girls who are willing to work hard, who are willing to learn, willing to unlearn, okay, come in and start working. So, except for my licensed staff, who are basically the pilots and the engineers and the licensed staff, most of my other functions are actually handled by local boys and girls. And it's really about how do you give them a chance to come up. And I must share this very interesting example with all of you. When we set up, obviously, we had 2 boys who joined us as drivers. Okay, and over a period of time, we realized that they were smart, they were intelligent, they had no job opportunities, so they took the first opportunity that came. In 10 months' time, both of them are actually aircraft technicians. Okay, so they actually work, they're still not certified engineers, but the other day I had one of them come and tell me, Manoj sir, when I joined, I knew how to change the tire on a Wagoner car. Okay, today I know how to change the tire on an ATR aircraft. Correct? And this is really the way of working with local communities, okay, that actually helps the community develop. Okay, and when the community develops, you actually start creating employment opportunities. And once you start creating employment opportunities, you actually find the overall development of a place, correct? And as long as you keep it local, there are a lot of benefits that you get out of it. The other interesting part that we've also done, and I must talk a little bit about that, is for the first time we've actually given the opportunity for local Goans. Okay, Goa has always been a great tourism destination. We heard about it, we do everything to attract people from other places to Goa. But where do we go? Correct, so we actually were the first airline to start a connection into the Lakshadweep Islands, another absolutely pristine part of the country. Again, it's amazing to see the way they manage sustainable tourism out there. So we are the only airline that actually offers a daily connection between Goa and the Lakshadweep Islands. Okay, and what we started seeing is it's not only we going there, now suddenly the local islanders say, hey, we also got a place to go and see. And over a period of time, what we have seen is people coming here for medical treatment, okay, vegetable vendors coming to Goa to pick up produce because of the Lakshadweep Islands, like other than coconuts. Okay, you don't have anything, so everything has to come from outside. And during monsoons, when the ships stop plying, they have no other option but to rely on other boats. So we would carry like 500, 600 kilos of fruits and vegetables on every flight. Now, again, these are very, very small things that you do, but these are small things that help you create employment, create sustainable employment, okay, and make sure the local communities can develop. We operate into a lot of tier 2 cities. We go into Jalgaon. We operate 21 flights into Jalgaon, daily from Goa, daily from Hyderabad, daily from Pune. Again, when we started, everybody asked us, where is Jalgaon? Okay, and then you say, there's, the caves out there. There are some really interesting stuff that you need to see out there. And today that's a flight which takes both Goans there as well as people from Jalgaon into Goa. Our entire marketing campaign, as we built a brand, and if any of you have followed us, we focused very closely on talking about the local culture, the local traditions. So every single village event or village festival that happens in Goa has been on our Instagram handle. Okay, in fact, I still remember a lot of my friends actually were just absolutely amazed when we put up the post on Narkasur. Okay, and they say, oh, we never even knew about this, and then you talk about kayaking in Goa, then you talk about the crocodiles in Goa, you talk about the...
Estimated director, dear estimated delegates, dear colleagues, dear all, I would like to thank you for inviting me today here. It is my great pleasure to be with you. I would also like to thank you with all my heart for the warm welcome that you gave me. This was my first time in India, the first time in Goa, and I found an immense pleasure in staying with you all. Thank you. My name is Giuseppina Mecconi. I come from Switzerland, and more precisely, I am Italian, but I work and live in Switzerland, and I am a professor at Cesaris colleges. These pictures are just giving you a taste of what our campus looks like on the bottom corner of the slide, and then you can see a beautiful snapshot of the brick castle and also the Swiss Alps that at the moment are very much covered in white snow. So today, when I was invited to this wonderful conference, I was reflecting on what was the topic that I could address in the keynote speech. And so I decided to propose this presentation because I think it is really covering the heart of the discussion that we're going to have in the next few days. This work is around the problem of textile waste. But before we reflect on this problem, I would like to take a step back and look at the concept of corporate social responsibility. This is a concept that is not new at all. It found its origins back in time in the 1950s. And only recently, in the past few years, we kept to hear this word more and more often. The concept, I think, is familiar to all of us here. So it is the obligation for every business not only to think about maximizing profit, but also to take a deep step in the right direction for the social and environmental impact. So this concept goes hand in hand with what we heard until now already from my previous colleagues talking about the roles and responsibilities that we have towards sustainability. And in fact, everybody can do something in order to have a sustainable environment. And each of us has got the responsibility to do this little something. And this is what I'm always teaching in my classes to my students in my Science for Sustainable Hospitality and Tourism course. How can we do this step? Well, we can start on a journey toward living a more sustainable life by taking inventory of what are our actions. And this is where I want to reflect on the problem of textile waste. Because reports are showing that 85% of textile is ending up in landfills. And the environmental protection agencies estimated that 15.5 million tons of textile waste ended up in these landfills in 2018. I don't go through all the numbers that we have in these slides, but I want to reflect on the fact that this is a result of a phenomenon that we are all tied to, which is the problem of fast fashion, and it is a problem that is affecting all of us globally. Fast fashion, where the result that is, the effect that is having is high water consumption, high energy consumption, high use of synthetic chemicals. And this is really close to my heart, being my background also in chemistry. All of these aspects are bringing our green and sunny world toward a gray and sad one. So we really need to do something. If we consider the case of cotton, for example, it is well known that it is a very demanding crop in terms of water consumption. So 99% of cotton is sourced directly from new plant cultivation. But out of this new plant cultivation, 73% are still following the traditional farming practices, and only 27% is instead starting to follow new practices, more sustainable and more eco-friendly. And a very tiny amount instead is recycled cotton. If I want to give you some more numbers, we can go to look at the next slide about the water use and pollution. 20% of industrial water pollution is coming from the fashion industry. I think that we are familiar to the fact that in order to produce a pair of jeans, it takes about 10,000 liters of water. When I say this number to my students, they remain still speechless at sometimes. And this is the reason why it is important for us to try to bridge the gap between what is done academically and what we know in the real life. Not to mention the use of chemicals. Chemical use, we have 2.4% of the world cultivated land using 6% of the world pesticide, 16% of these are insecticide, and as the slide is saying, in the US, they are possibly probable a cause for human carcinogens. So the numbers that they're presenting are really astonishing, and despite these astonishing facts and figures, the rate of textile recycling still remains low in relation to the number of textiles we use. So why is this happening? This is happening because textile recycling has a lot of challenges: supply chain, preparation, technology, scaling, and I left it at the last one, economics. Right? So it requires a lot of investment there. But there is hope, because here in 2018, at Washington State University, because here in 2018, at Washington State University in the US, a team of scientists decided to try to mitigate the environmental harm of textile overconsumption and waste by creating new opportunities for recycling and regenerating textiles. And the doctor here in the picture, my colleague Dr. Han Liu, that together with their team developed a technology which is able to regenerate cotton, breaking it down into the fibers that are then again used to create new textile with the same strength as the original one. So there is hope. There is hope, but this hope is again linked to funding and scaling up these practices. So together with other collaborators in WSU University, we are now working in this project, and I decided that it was a good topic to share with you today, because you will ask me, where does hospitality stand in this discussion that we are listening? Well, hospitality is among one of the, is producing about 1.5 million tons of textile waste, just because of pillowcases, sheets, towels. So hotels are significantly impacting and contributing to this project, to this problem. However, the work published in 2022 was from Green Hospitality was also showing that there was not a lot of interest in moving toward new solutions, because sometimes the possibility of using a recycled textile or used textile was not seen as an excellent item. This perception is changing. Papers that have been published in the literature are showing that everything is moving in the right direction. So if the papers that were published before this time were focusing mainly on textile waste and pollution, etc., now they shifted more toward recycling of textile instead. And several are the initiatives that are being taken place globally. Here, in the next slide, I have just two examples of many. For example, we have Intercontinental Hotel Groups and Accor Group. We are respectively using bed and pillow comforters filled with 100% recycled. Whereas Accor Hotels has introduced a new motto: natural is the new white, because they have introduced bed linen where the color is not the white that we are all looking for, but is a cream, because this is the natural color of the raw fibers. So changes are happening. So in light of this interest toward the hospitality industry, in 2023, a grant of 42K was granted from the Washington State Department of Commerce to focus on several variables. One was to estimate the quantity of discount hotels, the textile quality testing, the secondary market potential, the policies to encourage the circular markets, and also the invention hackathon with the WSU students. 37 hotels were interviewed about this, the interest toward this possibility of finding new solutions to minimize the impact of hospitality industry. And the results showed that a large number of bed linens are wasted or are wasted in average, so about 19.74. However, another aspect that has come out is that even though hoteliers recognize the importance of adopting new practices and finding solutions, they are also quite concerned about the economical aspect of it. So more incentives needs to be paid, more incentive for transportation of the discarded bed linen need to be taken into consideration. So the interest of the people is there, but it is our responsibility to make it happen, and therefore that's why we are here today, and to communicate, to share opinion together and see how we can make it happen for real. Because at the end of the day, when the textile tasting was done, the effect was that the bed linen that were discharged, just because there was a little tear on them, was exactly the same as the new one. So there was potential to reuse them for something else. And this is what led us to the concept of the textile butterfly, where we want to highlight once again the importance of recycling and the reusing textiles. Finally, the second big, so now that I didn't press the butterfly, here it is. The last point that I would like to address is also that even if we manage to put in place this butterfly, we need still to tackle other problems, like the choice of secondary markets. This remains a challenge, so we still need to understand who is keen to adopt these recycled materials. So it is essential to develop a viable business model, and it is essential to develop policies that are encouraging the donation of sales of linen before discarding them. So, further study for hotels are our priority, so we are continuously thinking about how to proceed with our project. And at the moment, the study is being mainly carried out in the US, but the next step will be to do a similar study also on the European market And of course, we will be happy to expand further in every part of the world. So, our ongoing work at the moment is first of all to outreach, to communicate how we can make it happen for real. Because at the end of the day, when the textile tasting was done, the effect was that the bad linen that were discharged, just because there was a little tear on them, was exactly the same as the new one. So there was potential to reuse them for something else. And this is what led us to the concept of the textile butterfly, where we want to highlight once again the importance of recycling and the reusing textiles. Finally, the second big, so now that I didn't press the butterfly, here it is. The last point that I would like to address is also that even if we manage to put in place this butterfly, we need still to tackle other problems, like the choice of secondary markets. This remains a challenge, so we still need to understand who is keen to adopt these recycled materials. So it is essential to develop a viable business model, and it is essential to develop policies that are encouraging the donation of sales of linen before discarding them. So, further study for hotels are our priority, so we are continuously thinking about how to proceed with our project. And at the moment, the study has been mainly carried out in the US, but the next step will be to do a similar study also on the European market, and of course, we will be happy to expand further in every part of the world. So, our ongoing work at the moment is first of all to outreach, to communicate, to build awareness, and to gather stakeholders together. It is to raise interest in manufacturers, and it is also important to establish and build a circular market within the hospitality industry globally, addressing also the supply chain challenges. So to conclude, we are responsible for sharing actionable ideas and practices, establishing collaboration and developing new initiatives that bridge the gap between academia and business. Only by doing this, we can foster changes that will transform intention into actual behaviors for a sustainable future. The journey toward effective corporate social responsibility is not just a corporate obligation, but is a moral imperative. By fostering collaboration between management, employees, external partners, and government, we can bridge the gap between intention and action. Together, we can create an hospitality industry that not only thrives economically, but also champions sustainability and social responsibility. Let's join our forces together and commit to making a tangible difference, ensuring that our efforts today bring a brighter, more sustainable future for generations to come. Thank you.